Housing proposal pointing to affordable living struggle in St. Johns County. That's what the leaders are saying. The leaders. No, they are the leaders. St. Johns County Commissioners are set to deliberate on a crucial decision this Tuesday regarding actually, I guess that's today, regarding the construction of 110 single-family homes tailored to essential workers here in St. Johns County. The proposed development, dubbed Mills Workforce Housing, slated for construction near Lewis Speedway, right down the road here, and Woodlawn Road, just off of US 1, a short distance from north of downtown St. Augustine. Despite the pressing need for affordable housing, local leaders such as Bill Lazar, the executive director of the St. John's Housing Partnership, expressed skepticism about the proposal's effectiveness in addressing the area's housing shortage crisis. Lazar highlights the significant deficit in housing options for the local workforce, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. Yeah, a lot of us expressing that urgency all the time. He argues that while proposals like Mills Workforce Housing are a step in the right direction, they fall short of meeting the community's dire needs. Well, I mean,
you got to start somewhere, Bill.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm thinking is, one development doesn't solve it all. No. However, one at a time is a step in the right direction. Like, we gotta appreciate what we're getting here.
It's like taking medicine. You gotta take it.
Right.
And,
is that how that works?
It's not Amazon Prime. It's not going to show up in 2 days.
There's no magic pills.
Look, I'm watching this happen in my neighborhood right now, and you have to carefully think this out because you are affecting also the roads around there too. Shut down. There's the detours. If it happened overnight, that would have been way too hard.
But I mean, this one's so close to like the sheriff's department. It's close to the county building. It's so close to people that we need for our. I mean, so.
Yeah.
I like this location.
Me too.
I don't know how they're doing the roads and stuff like that, but this location makes sense to me just because of, all the government agencies that are so close to it. So.
And we've got a little bit of room out here to build. There's a little bit of room out here where we're running out of room in the rest of the county.
I think this one's spread out pretty good. I mean, I know the property. So,
okay.
I think it's spread out pretty good.
All right. This workforce housing project has been fraught with challenges. Initially introduced in December, the proposal faced scrutiny from both the county's planning and zoning agency and nearby residents who raised concerns about same stuff, traffic and safety issues. Despite a recommendation for denial by the agency in a split vote, the developer sought a continuance during a recent Board of County Commission meeting. Let's see. According to St. Johns County's Land Use Designation Code, workforce housing tenants must earn 70% of the area's median income. For our area right now, and it's always going up, that's close to $60,000. That's still less than, teachers are making, less than cops and firefighters are making, more than teachers, firefighters, cops, and of course our hospitality industry. Which is the lifeblood of St. Augustine and much of St. Johns County. The average incomes, they mention, that's way above the average incomes for people, what I just said. Proposed maximum price for a single-family workforce housing designated home, $260,000, which, again, exceeds affordability for many of the people who are essential to St. Augustine's economy. So, I mean, with a number like that, $260,000, that's not affordable for most of these people we just talked about. And that's on the low end. Good luck finding that price for a house if you're not waiting in line for 2 years.
It's crazy.
So, Troy, kind of with your experience in real estate, you've been a real estate agent for a very long time. In St. Johns County, do we ever, under any circumstances, a housing crash even, do we ever see homes go down to a rate that's actually affordable for people, like $150,000? Does that ever happen in St. Johns County?
2008 was like the worst. Yeah, and there was some real dives in what was happening, and it was caused by the banking industry more than the real estate industry. Yes. It wasn't the housing side of it; it was the banking side that created it because they were just like, "Oh, you get a loan." They were like Oprah.
They were, yeah, absolutely. You didn't have to do much to qualify.
And here's the irony: I happened to look at what I had. I took a picture of this yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know this story was even coming.
Yeah.
So we're not in the cheapest, but we're not even close to the most expensive states.
Okay.
Okay. The most expensive state to own a house is Hawaii, and it's $971,000.
Wow. That's it?
Wow.
Okay.
The cheapest.
97,000, would you say?
The cheapest state is West Virginia. All right, West Virginia, the average home is $158,000.
Damn. Moving on to West Virginia.
That's it. Coal mining life for me.
What's their area code up there? It's 729 now, baby. I don't know what their area code.
Checking.
The gap between Mississippi's 176 and they're second, but their average family income is 48,000.
Wow.
Not individual.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's Florida. St. Augustine in Florida is definitely unique. Like the recession didn't hit us as hard, even though like people here are like, well, yeah, it did. Because it hurt. Mm-hmm. But it didn't hit us as hard as some of these other states because we have the quality of life we have too.
Yeah.
Because people want to be here. So our housing prices are not going to go down that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we might flatten out a little bit. And like people are like, oh, the housing market's doing that. No, all it did was flatten.
Yeah.
We're so used to it going up. It flattened. But I can tell you right now, since the new year, there's been a boost again in housing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So there's been people buying here again.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? Do we make renting sexy again? Like what is, because people don't want to rent, they want to own.
Well, I mean, and the problem with that is, Troy, and you can probably speak to this better than I can, is when you're investing in a property and you're paying $400,000 for the property and your mortgage is $2,500 a month, you can't charge less for rent than what you're paying for your mortgage. You have to charge, you have to make money on your investment.
And a lot of times when I invested, I was never planning on making money from the renters. I just wanted them to hold its own. And then when I sold it, that's when I'd make my money.
Oh, okay.
So, you never, as a landlord, you never want to be vacant. All right.
Right.
Because if you're vacant for 2 months, say it's $1,500, you just lost $3,000. Mm-hmm. So it's better for you to take $200 off your rent and never be vacant than to go, oh, I'm getting the most I can get.
Right.
Because think of how many months it takes to make that money back.
Right. True. Yeah.
So, I mean, it takes 15 months to get back to even.
Yeah.
So, so landlords really, they see these other people that are jacking up their prices and they'll stay vacant trying to get their price, which makes no sense too. So just rent it at a lower rate.
Yeah.
Keep going steady because you make your money on the back end. You don't make your money off your renters.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
We can definitely survive in West Virginia. The area code is 304. So 304. With a little bit of like
squiggles.
Yeah,
a little bit of a racing.
Turn that 9 into that 3. We got that.
All right. And
no, I wouldn't leave here for anything.
Right. Jeez, I know.
But you guys got onto me a little bit about my Jacksonville statement, but they're the reason 904 now has another area code. It's not our fault. It's theirs.
It's not. 324.
324. So I'm still a little bitter about that.
We all are.
Yeah. But I mean, owning a house is still better than renting. There's a lot of millennials that are, and I don't blame them for it at all because they're creating great lives for themselves. But when I was growing up, it was all about when I buy my house, that means I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Buy my house. I mean, and it was kind of pounded into me. But millennials, it's about living life, vacations and these things. And I'm not hating on them for it because it's a good life for them. Sure. But
if you can pull it off,
how's it going to work out in the end?
Yeah.
Because my real estate is my retirement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to be an option for a lot of people going forward. It's just not. And you got interest rates and all that stuff that are just not, I say not coming back down. I mean, a few years ago, they were historically never be what it was. Low. I mean, it'll never be 2% again. I have to imagine.
I'm like in there somewhere.
Maybe for a blip in time, but that plays a big role in it as well, in your mortgage as well. And So it's tough. I mean, what would it take to lower the threshold of affordable? I mean, they say you have to be making 70% of the median income. Median income's astronomical here. So, I mean, what does it take to kind of lower that threshold? Is that something we can do locally? Is that something that's got to be done at the state, at the national level?
I think with the construction cost and land cost and what it is, because development's tough. I mean, and people... every time the county or the city or the state or whatever municipality adds a requirement to the developer, that adds to the cost.
Right. The developer doesn't absorb that themselves. They pass it on to the consumer.
It's pushed out, and that's how they're able to stay in business. And people are like, oh, affordable housing. It's really tough to be a developer in affordable housing when you see the other money out here. Okay, I just paid all this. They're still paying those same things. Unless they give them exemptions or something like that, they're still paying this higher level. So it's almost like leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, if I left $100,000 there and said, oh, it's yours if you want it, or you can build this house over here, $100,000 is tempting.
Yeah.
So most people are going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, people who build homes are in it as a business.
Yeah,
That's their business.
And I don't like...
So it's a tough push and pull between, you know, people who are trying to build affordable housing, but also trying to stay in business and make money on their investments, which is building homes.
And there's a lot of venom towards developers, but you know, these guys take a huge risk. I mean, these companies take a huge risk, and you know, if the recession does hit, like what happened in 2004 or 2008, you know, these companies are out of business.
Yeah.
You know, because they got so much out front. So, I mean, there's a huge risk. So it's, I like this location. Like I said, I don't know exactly how the roads work and how it's going to come into play there. I think it fits into the neighborhood, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, I'm not the one voting on it. But it makes sense to me with the location of the people that we need to kind of house, you know.
Yeah.
Law enforcement's number one. It's right here, and you got the courthouse, and you got the county building. So all of those, I mean, if we can get them closer to work, then it makes for a better life.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Totally agree. And again, it's a start. Is it the total solution to the problem? No, obviously not. But it's a start. It's a start, and just keep making steps along the way. And you know, we just don't want to. We don't want to price out the workforce here in St. Johns County, and that just continues to happen. You know, we'll just be left with a desolate wasteland of abandoned restaurants.
Not good.
Yeah.